Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm Two Commas, and today we're going to be talking about how to play Razz poker. So Razz is a game that I actually like to play a lot. Some people don't like playing Razz for some reason. I think it's because you can get very unlucky in Razz even if you start with a strong hand, but I like it. I think it's a very straightforward game and it can be a lot of fun. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of this video. So let's go ahead and click the subscribe button, the like button, and the alert button so that you can get all of the news and latest videos whenever they come out, and to support the channel so that we can continue making content that is valuable to you. All right, so let's go ahead and dive into Razz. All right, so what is Razz and how do you play it? So Razz is a stud game, and I know we haven't talked that much about stud on this channel, but I will do a 7-card stud and a 7-card stud 8 or better video in the coming weeks. I know there's some good content out there, but it doesn't hurt to have a different point of view and some refresher videos. So we'll talk a little bit about how to play stud today, and in particular Razz. So again, it is a stud format. So what does a stud format mean? It means that you're going to be dealt 7 cards and only the best 5 cards will be used to make your poker hand. So you're going to be dealt 3 cards in the beginning, 2 cards down that no one else can see, and 1 card up. Now, unlike Hold'em or Pot Limit Omaha, all of your cards are your cards only. There are no community cards that you're sharing with anyone else. The 2 cards that are face down, only you know what they are. And the 1 card that is face up, everyone else knows what it is. So information and card removal is very important in stud. So you're dealt 3 cards, 2 down, 1 up. Then there's a round of betting. And normally stud is an ante-game, so that also means Razz is an ante-game. That means that everyone is going to put some money into the pot before you are even dealt any cards. Okay, so unlike a Hold'em game or a draw game where only the small blind and the big blind put in money, everyone puts in an ante in a Razz game. So normally Razz is going to be played, or almost always Razz is going to be played in a limit fashion, which means that you're going to have 2 denominations of betting, and that is similar to draw games. So you're going to have, let's say, 8-16, or you're going to have 10-20, or 30-60, or 100-200. Same concept. The first 2 streets of betting are the lower denomination. But unlike draw games, you're going to actually have an additional round of betting on 7th Street. So 5th, 6th, and 7th Street have the higher limit of betting. So again, dealt 3 cards, 2 down, 1 up. Then you are dealt a 4th card, which is 4th Street. That's going to be dealt up as well. A 5th card dealt up on 5th Street. A 6th card on 6th Street dealt up. And then your 7th card, or the 7th Street, the river, is dealt down. So you've got 3 cards that are down in the end and 4 cards that are face up. In Razz, again, it's a lowball game, which means you are playing for the lowest possible hand, not the best possible hand. And aces count as low cards in Razz, or a 1 if you just want to count the numbers. So the best possible hand you can have is going to be ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, and straights and flushes don't count in Razz. So you always want to be playing for low cards, and you want to have what's called wheel cards, which are going to be the ace, the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5 in your hand. When you were dealt in Razz poker, and you have to do what's called the bring in. So that's the first person to enter the pot. So unlike a button game where the button moves around and the person to the left of the button always acts first and the button always acts last, in stud games, position changes based on who the bring in is. And in Razz, the bring in is always going to be the highest card by suit. So if you are dealt a king of spades, you are going to be the person who is putting money in the pot forcibly first. And the bring in is normally half of the initial bet, or the half of the lower first bet when you're playing Razz. So for instance, if you're playing 8-16, the bring in will be $4 because it's half of the small bet. Hopefully that makes sense. So the other thing is, once the bring in is made, the bring in has the option of completing the bet off the bat, which means going ahead and making it a full small bet. But most of the time that doesn't happen. So the bring in will normally come in if you're playing 8-16 for $4. And then the first person who wants to enter the pot voluntarily has the option to complete the bet, and they almost always will complete the bet, making it $8. From there, everyone can either call the $8 or raise to 16, and it plays like a normal limit game after that. Just like in other lowball games, you do not want pairs because they basically make your hand a high hand. So you're only going to count the 5 cards that are not paired to make your best low hand. Razz does not have a qualifier, so unlike stud 8 or better, you don't have to be below a certain high card value. You only have to have a lower hand than your opponent in order to win the pot. Additionally, in Razz, the low hand always acts first. So after the bring in, which is the highest card, the lowest board is going to always act first. And you read the value of your low hand from the top down. So let's do an example on 7th Street when all the cards are flipped over. Let's say you have ace, 2, 3, 4, 10. And then another person has 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. And then let's say another person has ace, 2, 5, 8, 9. Well, how you read that hand and determine who the winner is and who the lowest hand is from the top down. So although you may have an ace, 2, 3, 4, if you have that 10, because the 10 is higher than the other two opponents' highest card, which are 9s, your hand is automatically higher than theirs, and therefore your hand cannot win in Razz. So now it goes to who's the best hand or the lowest hand between the other two players. Well, they both have 9 high hands. Well, now you go to the next lowest card. So the person who has the 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 is actually going to win the hand, although they have higher cards in general, because their next lowest card is a 7, whereas the third person's next lowest card is an 8. So 7 is lower than 8. So to recap, the 4, 5, 6, 7, 9 is going to be lower, and therefore the winning hand compared to ace, 2, 5, 8, 9. So how do you know if you should play a hand that you're dealt in Razz? Well, that's the thing that makes Razz fun, is it's not a very standard operating manual on what cards you should play and what cards you shouldn't play, because it's very board dependent, meaning it depends on what the other people have. So that's why you have to pay attention to the up cards. And it's a game where you can really steal or represent a hand that you maybe don't have, and steal the pots that includes the antes and any money that's been put in it already, which is what makes it fun, because you can represent stronger hands than you possibly have. So as a rule, if you have 3 non-paired cards, 7 or lower, I definitely think that you should be in the hand, maybe even up to 8 or lower. But again, it really depends on what the other up cards are, because that's going to determine whether or not you should enter the pot, and it changes every time a new street is dealt, so you have to keep paying attention. So another reason why you have to pay attention to the up cards that are dealt is because it will help you determine whether or not you have a strong chance to make a good low hand by 7th Street that can actually win the pot. And so what do I mean by that? Let's look at another example. Let's say that there is a queen dealt, right, as an up card to an opponent. And then let's say you have a 6 up card dealt with a 2, 3 in the hole. Then let's say there's an ace up card, a 4 up card, a 5, a 4, and a 9, all up cards, right? That means that you are next to the queen. the queen is going to be the bring in, and you're going to have to act first. So you have a great hand. You have 2, 3, 6, right? Awesome hand. But you have to act before you see what the ace, the 4, the 5, the 4, and the 9 are going to do, right? You have to act before the other players. And you need an ace, a 4, and a 5 in order to make a good hand, right? You need those cards to complement your 2, 3, 6. But 3 people, 4 people already have the cards you need. So I would actually not enter the hand in this scenario. Yes, it's tight, but it's probably the right play because you're acting first. You don't know what's going to happen behind you, and you have actually a slim chance of making the hand that you want to make because the cards you need are already out. Okay, so let's go over another example of whether or not you should enter a hand. So let's say there's a jack dealt as an up card to one of your opponents, then a 10. Let's say you were dealt a 7 up card with a deuce 4 in the hole. Then let's say behind you there's a 6 dealt, a 4 dealt, another 4, and a 7. So should you enter this pot? Absolutely you should enter this pot. Why? Because 1, you're dealt 3 cards under a 7 of different value, which is a great starting hand in Razz. But 2, you see that 3 of your opponents have cards that you already have, the 2 4s and the 7, which decrease the likelihood that you're going to get paired. Additionally, only 1 other player has a card that you need, the 6, which means the aces are still available, the 3s are still available, the 5s are still available, all cards you need to make your hand. So what's going to happen is the jack is going to be the bring in, the 10 is likely going to fold. You should complete the bet at this moment in time. No matter what the other players do, you should be going strong in this particular hand to start off, because Razz is a game that you have to bet when you are in the lead and try and take advantage of that and take the pot down in that moment. But let's continue to play this hand out and see, what you should do as the cards continue to be dealt. So let's say that the jack and the 10 end up folding, and let's say all the other opponents decided to stay in, which is unlikely, but let's just say that they did, right? Now you're dealt a 10. So you've got a 7-10 showing. The 6 is dealt a 7. The 4 is dealt a queen. The other 4 is dealt the case 4, the last 4. And the 7 is dealt a 9. So what has just happened here? You have now become the 3rd strongest hand that is still left in the pot, because you have a 10-7, the 7-6 showing is a stronger hand than you are now, and the 9-7 showing is a stronger hand than you are now. So that's not good, but it's not the end of the world. The 7-6 would act first. Let's assume they bet. You should probably still stay in it for at least 1 more street, I would say, right? You could fold, but it's not the end of the world. You still have a chance of winning since you're only 10 high right now. Now let's say you were dealt a 9. So your hand is 9, 10, 7 showing with deuce 4 in the hole. The 7-6 is dealt a 3. And let's say the queen 4 folded and the 4-4 folded. And the 9-7 is dealt an ace. Where are you at in the hand now? You are now firmly in 3rd place, because your hand is now 10-9, 7-4 deuce versus a 7-6-3 and a 9-7 ace. You are very far behind, and even if you were to make your hand, you still might not have the winner. So once the 3-7-6 hand bets and maybe the ace 9-7 calls or folds, you should definitely be folding in this particular situation. So that's just an example of how Razz changes a lot from street to street. You started off with a very strong hand with the deuce 4-7, and you saw that the cards that you needed were still available and the cards that you already had were showing, so you weren't likely to pair. But 4th Street didn't work out in your favor, and 5th Street definitely didn't work out in your favor. And that's just how Razz is, which is why some people don't like the game, but I think it makes it a lot of fun. And this is an example of where you should definitely be folding. So some other key strategy points that you should take into account when you're playing Razz is you shouldn't defend your bring in if you have a king or a queen. Most of the time you shouldn't defend your bring in at all, but you definitely shouldn't defend it if you have a king or a queen. It just makes your hand face up and too easy to tell what you actually have. Because if you're playing a king or a queen up, that probably means you have like an ace deuce or ace three or something like that in the hole. And so it just makes your hand too easy to read and too difficult to win at showdown. Additionally, you can represent strong hands even if you have a pair that's hidden. So let's say you have a 4 up and a 4 in the hole. But be very cautious if you continue to proceed, because it is hard to make good low hands if you have a pair hidden. And one thing to take into account when you're playing Razz is normally on 5th Street, the better draw is a statistical favorite to win the hand by 7th Street, meaning with 2 cards to come, the hand that has the draw to the lowest hand will usually win. However, on 6th Street, it's usually the hand that is already the lowest made hand. So up until 5th Street, if you have the better draw, you are probably a statistical favorite to win. But once you get to 6th Street, you are probably not the statistical favorite to win if you are still trying to draw to the winning hand. So you should take that to account as well. And remember, Razz can be frustrating because it changes so much from street to street, but that is also what makes it fun because it is very dynamic. And if you can learn how to master these changing aspects of the game, then you can become a very profitable Razz player. Now, Razz is not often played in the mixed games by itself. It's normally only a tournament game. However, you will find games like Razz Doogie or Super Razz Doogie or something like that where Razz is incorporated as a split pot game. So that's why it's important to know how to play Razz and practice and hopefully have a lot of fun with it. Again, I enjoy playing Razz a lot, so hopefully you do too. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. If you did, do me a favor, go ahead and subscribe, like, and hit that alert button. And we will see you next time.